Our heart was always to reach people in the community that didn't know Jesus. And I was asked by a young couple in our church who came somewhat sporadically if I would perform their wedding ceremony, and I agreed and got to know them better and did their marriage. And maybe 3-4 weeks later, this couple arrives at Connect, and I know I recognized them but couldn't remember where from, and they introduced themselves to me, Joe and Laura, and they were the groom's parents, and they said that they'd enjoyed the wedding and they liked my little message at the wedding, and they thought we'd like to hear that guy talk again. So they came for the very first time to Connect Church. Neither one of them really had any church background whatsoever, but were just interested and started attending on a regular basis. And we got to know Joe and Laura. Kasey, my wife, and I happened to be leading the group that they were in. And just a great small group and some great questions. Some of the folks in this group had been in church for a long time. Others had come from maybe a Catholic background. And then Joe and Laura, who had no church background whatsoever. All of the questions, why does God allow bad things to happen? How do I know that there is a God? What difference can Jesus make in my life? They were processing these together. So at the end of the class, they continued coming to the church. They signed up to volunteer at our welcome desk, and they would greet people on a Sunday morning. And then I was thrilled when we announced that we had a baptism service coming up, when I saw who was signing up, that Joe and Laura had signed up to be baptized. And we got to talk to them in a class that we have before the baptism service, and just hear about the journey that they've been on, and the fact that both of them, independently of one another, had come to the place of realizing that they wanted to follow Jesus. This was something that they knew was missing in their lives. It was wonderful to see them get baptized and then even growing in their faith. I know that they're in a small group now at Connect, and I was just talking to the small group leader the other day, and he was sharing that in their last small group gathering, he says, Joe, would you mind praying for us? And he says, oh yeah, I'll pray for you. And then he said, oh wait, you mean now? And he says, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. And the leader said he just prayed this lovely prayer right there, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the very first prayers he's prayed in a group setting like that. But just wonderful to see how they've not only come to faith but are now growing in their faith, and we love having them as a part of Connect. It's exciting that 10 years later we are still seeing stories just like that happen.